beyond, takes us beyond this material thing. So we have to work hard and get free from all these modes. Then you'll be peaceful, totally peaceful, and then you'll understand that you have a beautiful or loving relationship with the Supreme Person. Text 32.
Kvachit drumvad aihikadheshu griheshu ramsyan yatha vanarah sutadhara vatsalo vyavaya kshanaha.
Just as a monkey jumps from one tree to another, the conditioned soul jumps from one body to another. As a monkey is ultimately captured by the hunter and is unable to get out of captivity, the conditioned soul, being captivated by momentary sex pleasure, becomes attached to different types of bodies and is engaged in family life. Family life affords the conditioned soul a festival of momentary sex pleasure, and thus is completely unable to get out of the material clutches. Now, the Bhagavatam is not against family life. This is talking about people who are not devotees, and their goal is all screwed up. They just go after sense enjoyment. So don't get in your mind, this is wrong. My family, my parents are good. They're all nice devotees like that. No, they are. Nobody is saying that. It's talking about people who are not following any of these things. Alright, this is another interesting point Srila Prabhupada says, which is very, it is known openly, but we never think about it. Bodily necessities, eating, sleeping, mating and defending are all very easily available in any form of life. Okay, we should all know that it's there in any form of life. So then why, what is the difference? Why I am a human being, I'm special here. Right? Only when we are questioned, then we think like that. Oh yeah, because I can inquire about Athato Brahma Jigyasa, which means I can understand and think about the Supreme Lord. Okay, so if you answer me that, how much are you thinking about the Supreme Lord? How much are you inquiring on a daily basis? Yeah. Someone was saying in a japa thing that they were chanting. So they said that Prabhupada told them that when you chant, you're actually telling the Lord, "Oh Lord, please take me, give me some service." Then he says, when you're chanting and then you're not focusing, then it's like you're calling a guest to your home, and then you're doing other things in your home. They come, you say, "Oh hi," and then you go. And then you do your own thing, and then they say hello, you say ha. So that's the situation with our chanting. Or because we understand this same thing can be achieved in any other life forms. So what's the difference? So why should we then think about getting initiated at all? Right? Again, these things must constantly think about that. Otherwise, we won't have the impetus to go back to Godhead. Okay? Otherwise we'll be just like a monkey, jumping from one tree to another, looking for mates, and that's it. Big deal, right? Prabhupada says this several times. The same thing he quoted in a previous verse. The purport here is identical, almost identical. Because he writes there, sometimes a monkey is captured by a hunter who sells its body to doctors so that its glands can be removed for the benefit of another monkey. A human monkey. All this is going on in the name of economic development and improved sex life, which is very common, right? When I first came to this country, I was shocked. Everywhere they say, improving sex life only. What is that? They're selling that the pills, very famous pills. Viagra, yeah. So
otherwise the memory is very bad.
Otherwise?
My memory is usually very bad.
Everywhere, billboards, you're like, what is wrong with these people? They're selling it to the old guys, very old men, and so on. And then they also got for women also, pills. So I was like, what is the goal of life? Is this? So you will find that in general, this is all they think of. From the time the young boy and young girl reach puberty, this is all they think of. This is all they talk in school. Behind, the teacher will be discussing in front, behind they will be discussing that. Yeah. This is all they do. It's a sad situation. In US, by the time the boy is 12, 13 years old, 3.8 boys out of 5 boys are already looking in porn, online pornography. And 2.8 girls already at the same age have seen and invested in porn. Now, porn is the biggest industry in this country or in the world, and it's the biggest driving force for technology. Yeah.
All the innovation happens.
Yeah. So,
Machine learning is being used with that.
I'm saying, you somehow or other you are connected to sinful activity, so therefore purify yourselves. All of you, tech or whatever you think, I am working for this guy, that guy.
Games, everything.
Everything, yes.
Everything.
Is so you all have to purify. In the name of economic development. Prabhupada knew exactly what he is writing.
Viraspo was telling once that they, in this comic movies, like Disney animation movies, they are like subtly putting this gay and lesbians.
Yeah, now now it's trying to be politically correct. Nonsense.
Basically programming children's mind.
Exactly, and then they are wondering why the society is falling apart. Foolish rascals. Blind men leading the blind. This is what you see. So as devotees, you all, just the best thing, homeschooling is the best. If you can do it. Or Krishna conscious school. That's it. Otherwise, you can see what's happening. That's why Prabhupada says if you send your children out there, you're sending them to slaughterhouses, because they slaughter you wholesale. They say, put your head out, let us chop your head off. Yes, sir. Yeah. Text 33.
Evam advani avarundhano vichugaja bhayat tamasi girikandara praye.
In this material world, when the conditioned soul forgets his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and does not care for Krishna consciousness, he simply engages in different types of mischievous and sinful activities. He is then subjected to the threefold miseries, and out of fear of the elephant of death, he falls into the darkness found in a mountain cave. Okay? Same thing in a different way. Sukadeva Goswami is explaining. Because they are all afraid of death, but they want to still enjoy their senses. If you don't follow Krishna consciousness, then you will try to enjoy your senses in a sinful manner. Text 34.
Kvachit chita vatadi aneka daivika bhautikatmyanam dukkhanam pratinivarane akalpo duranta vishaya vishanna aste.
The conditioned soul suffers many miserable bodily conditions, such as being affected by severe cold and strong winds. He also suffers due to the activities of other living beings and due to natural disturbances. When he is unable to counteract them and has to remain in a miserable condition, he naturally becomes very morose because he wants to enjoy material facilities. The three miseries, you can see sometimes if you go to zoo, you can see an animal is in a cage, or for the people watching, I can see this animal, but the poor animal is miserable. He's very morose, and we don't know because we don't have enough empathy. We don't understand because we can't see. We don't have equal vision. Yeah, we can't see it. We don't feel for the animal's sad situation. Rather we think, it's so nice, the animal got a nice cage and all. And you think they are blissful. You take a polar bear and put it in Texas zoo, and then you put artificial AC and cold ice water, and then you think the bear is. It's like, man, I had such a wonderful place, and you're putting me in this. This is what happens.
Also penguins, bro.
Yeah.
Penguins.
Sad, yeah.
Very sad.
In Miami, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's very sad, and nobody understands that they are suffering. So similarly, even if you are human form, doesn't mean you are happy. You are suffering. Text 35.
Vachinmito vyavaharan yat kinchit dhanam payati vitta sathina.
Sometimes conditioned souls exchange money, but in due course of time, enmity arises because of cheating. Somebody from the sky is calling you. The name is Akash. It's like when Kansa was riding in the chariot, from the Akash sound came. Sometimes conditioned souls exchange money, but in due course of time, enmity arises because of cheating. Although there may be a tiny profit, the conditioned souls cease to be friends and become enemies. It's the second time he's mentioning it. In the last paragraph, in the middle of last paragraph, Prabhupada writes, this enmity is created between the conditioned soul and the father or spiritual master. Unless one is firmly fixed in regulated principles, one may perform mischievous acts, even if one is a member of the Krishna consciousness movement. Okay, so if you take privileges in the movement, and instead of following strictly, and you take privileges, thinking one time is okay, 2 times is okay, then that's what happens. Mischievous. Prabhupada is mischievous. Even if one is a member of Krishna. We therefore advise our disciples to strictly follow the regulated principles. If you are strict with yourself, then you can be strict with the movement in future also. You can lead the movement. You cannot become half-baked society. Yeah. You like half-baked cakes? Yeah, so therefore nobody likes a half-baked Hare Krishna movement. So we have to make sure that we follow what Prabhupada wants. Whatever we do it for Srila Prabhupada. He is a Dhamvasi. He is an eternal associate of Krishna. So if you please him, you will go back with him, right? Think like that, and therefore hold the principles high. Don't compromise whatever Prabhupada has given us. You can through the GBC or the authorities, you can adjust little. You can little you can adjust, but you can't wholesale change things. Then Prabhupada says, we therefore advise, otherwise the most important movement for the upliftment of humanity will be hampered due to dissension among its members. So did you find that? Always fighting. Right? Always biting and fighting. Trying to think of... Anyway, I can't think now. So Prabhupada says those who are serious about pushing forward this movement should remember this and strictly follow the regulative principles so that their minds will not be disturbed. So again, regulative principles are important to keep your mind. Remember the whole 5th canto when we started is about mind and your senses, controlling them. Once you know how to control, everything can be properly smooth sail, like that, adjusted also nicely. Text 36.
Kvachit kshina dhana sanyasana sanadi upabogha vihino yavad apratilabdha manoratho pagatadane avashita matistatastato avamanadini janad abhilabhate.
Sometimes having no money, the conditioned soul does not get sufficient accommodations. Sometimes he doesn't even have a place to sit, nor does he have the other necessities. In other words, he falls into scarcity. And at that time, when he is unable to secure the necessities by fair means, he decides to seize the property of others unfairly. When he cannot get the things he wants, he simply receives insults from others and thus becomes very morose. Particularly in some countries, that if you have a land and you don't use it, somebody can come and sit and take it. So there's
India,
law. Huh?
India.
In India, they have such law. Some other places they have like that. I don't know. Squatters. They call it the squatters' rule.
Not law.
So who tills the land is the owner.
It's called a squatters' law. That means you can go and squat, literally sit there, and you, as long as you build a structure and live there, no one can throw you out. Yeah. In California, that law is still there. If you rent your house and somebody lives in that house, and then you cannot evict them just like that. You have to give them so many things, and if you illegally evict them, they can sue you in court.
Same thing, renters.
Yeah.
If you give it out on rent, it's
Yes.
99 rupees from 100 years ago. You cannot, take them out.
Take them out.
Or
Yeah,
fix
that
them.
same rule in California. I believe that it is there. They may have changed it now, but there was a major
It's like
case
a
one
lease.
time.
Not
So in any case, even good friends, they cheat each other, they embezzle one another. Prabhupada says, even important people, they cheat one another. And once they are caught, they go to prison and all kinds of things. Right? This material world is not an easy place to live. Devi Esha Gunamai, very difficult. She is very ruthless. She kicks you every time when you are not looking. But we think it's just a nice, like a Prabhupada says, right? The donkey, she-donkey kicking the face of the he. Have you seen it? I saw it in India. I was astonished. The donkey kicks is such a hard kick, and the male donkey is stunned, You can see, literally the guy is stunned. And after a while he shakes his head and then he goes again. And then gets another kick, then he's stunned. So the material nature is very cruel, Prabhupada writes. She does not excuse anyone. When people do not care for nature, they commit all kinds of sinful activities and consequently they have to suffer. So you see that now very much prevalent in terms of weather situation. Whole world, everyone is suffering. War, all kinds of crises and ISIS, So things are going on everywhere like that. Text 37.
एवं वित्त व्यतिसंग विवृद्धा वैरानुबंधो अपि पूर्व वासनाया मिथा उद्वहति अथापावाहति.
It's I was saying, right, the material is terrible. Even when you are talking, right, on the phone, you are monitored nowadays.
Yeah.
And there are key words that if you say it, goes straight into the FBI or NSA database, highlight, your phone number is highlighted, then they monitor you even more closely. So this is the material world. Translation, although people may be enemies, in order to fulfill their desires again and again, they sometimes get married. Right? Unfortunately, these marriages do not last very long and the people involved are separated again by divorce or other means. Very interesting.
So the question Purva Vasanaya,
that means from previous...
similar to the Kuta Bija, the same concept or something different?
Yeah, you could say that. Prarabdha.
Referring to political marriages, right?
That is also there.
Yeah.
So
They're
all,
fighting, but they thought, maybe if you got together, so they give daughter in marriage.
yeah.
When he came.
And then the daughter will kill the husband like that. Poison they do
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
A lot of things. And particularly in China, if you read the Chinese history, there's so much killing. They kill, they use all kinds of poisons, all kinds of ways, spies, concubines, stuff like that. They go and kill like that.
Even politicians and businessmen, they like for
yeah,
business
even-
reasons they get married.
No, now they don't need to get married, no. This time, 5,000 years ago, Sukadeva Goswami says sometimes they get married. Prabhupada also uses the word sometimes. Yeah, but what happens now is job interview, the boss will tell the girl indirectly, you can get the job if you sleep with me, And then the professors in college do the same thing, or the girls do that. They think it's normal. And then you may think the professor is horrible, but actually the girl is using the professor. And so job situation, same thing. Sometimes it's what they say, what sexual harassment. Man harasses woman, woman also harasses the man, then now man harasses man, woman harasses woman. What's going on? So then they get married, right? Now it's legal, no? So woman marry, but still, like I was saying the other day, the consciousness is one person is male, the other person is female. Again, they also have divorces, and then they don't know what to do, how to separate.
Yeah.
The riches and anything. So it's crazy. We want to stick around here and see all the circus, you can come back, but Prabhupada says even in Krishna consciousness, separation and enmity take place due to the prominence of material propensities. And as long as you cheat, you will remain envious with one another. Propensities, material. So to get out of material propensities, what must you do?
Acquire spiritual capacities.
Yeah, how do you acquire spiritual potential?
Regulative
principles. And chant. Yeah. That is the basis of everything. If you can do that, you'll be peaceful. Text 38.
Like summary. Etasmin samsaradhvan nano kleshopasarga badhita apanna vipanno yatra yastam uha vavetras tatra visrijya jatam upadaya shocha muhyan bibhyad vivadan krandan samhashyan gayan नाहायमानः साधु वर्जितो नैवावर्तते अद्यापि यत आरब्ध एष नरलोकसाधो यम अध्वानाः पारम् उपदिशन्ति.
The path of this material world is full of material miseries, and various troubles disturb the conditioned soul. Sometimes he loses and sometimes he gains. In either case, the path is full of danger. Sometimes the conditioned soul is separated from his father by death or other circumstances. Leaving him aside, he gradually becomes attached to others, such as his children. In this way, the conditioned soul is sometimes illusioned and afraid. Sometimes he cries loudly out of fear, sometimes he is happy maintaining his family, and sometimes he is overjoyed and sings melodiously. In this way, he becomes entangled and forgets his separation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead since time immemorial. Thus he traverses the dangerous path of material existence, and on this path he is not at all happy. Those who are self-realized simply take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to get out of this dangerous material existence. Without accepting the devotional path, one cannot get out of the clutches of material existence. Conclusion is that no one can be happy in material life. One must take to Krishna consciousness. Emphatic statement there. Huh? Yeah. You can't run away. The thing is, we ran away from Krishna thinking we will be happy. But the reality, you can only be happy when you are with Krishna. Right? Because we have been away from Krishna for so long in this material world, we are thinking we can at least be happy somewhere within this forest jungle. Trying to look for some happiness here and there. And every path you go, there's some danger. And we don't know about that. Prabhupada says materialistic life, in the middle of the purport, means continuous unhappiness. But sometimes we accept happiness as it appears between the gaps. So this is the statement we say, an interruption of your misery. Yeah. This is reality. But if you have good association, or by chance you get association of spiritual persons, saintly persons, then they can revive. They can revive what we are hankering for. Actually, we do not know what we really want when we are conditioned. Your mind gives you a kaleidoscope of choices that you think you'll be happy with. But when you come to association of the devotee or saintly person, that illusion is completely shattered. And then you realize I'm actually very unhappy. And this person is making me feel better. That is what our association should do for anyone we meet. Not that they feel even more morose after you leave, but rather they should feel the urgency that this person has something that I really want. Because if you remember the story of the thief and Sanatana Goswami's jewel, right? Yeah. Ultimately, what happened? The thief gave up the jewel, the Chintamani stone. Why? Because Sanatana Goswami's relation with him and the way he presented himself made it attractive for him, and he accepted that statements. That is preaching. He felt this sadhu has something more, and he's happy, and I'm not. Even though and then when Sanatana take it from the trash, he took it, and then he was walking back. He said, "I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I can get everything in this material, and this man just told me to take it. He must have something." So he said, "I don't believe it." So he said, "Sanatana Goswami, you give me what you have, that because you gave it, you must have something." Then Sanatana Goswami smiled and said, "First, you throw that in the river. Go there and throw it far away."
But he's intelligent. Yeah. Most people there don't even have that intelligence.
Yeah, but so then he throws, and then he comes back and then he says, "Sit down, I'll give you Nama Chintamani. Rasa Vigraha." So it's so wonderful when you realize that the situation where he takes up so much happiness in wanting to chant, and he becomes a pure devotee like that. Yeah. So the same chance that Sanatana Goswami gave them is given to us by Srila Prabhupada through all our spiritual masters. Same. No difference.
We are searching that stone in the
Yeah, you're looking at the trash. Swimming inside the See, you know why? Prabhupada writes inside, he's expressing his heartfelt desire. Therefore, all members of this Krishna consciousness society must themselves be perfect sadhus in order to give a chance to fallen, conditioned soul. Yeah. You get it? Yeah, he wants us to do it, because by doing that, what does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita at the end?
You are very dear to me.
You become very dear to him. So, Srila Prabhupada not just wants to, help us out, he wants us to go back to Godhead with him. Such a mercy. Text 39.
Yadidam yoganusasanam nava etad avarundhate yanyashta danda munaya upasama shila uparatamanaha samavagachanti.
Saintly persons who are friends to all living entities have a peaceful consciousness. They have controlled their senses and minds, and they easily attain the path of liberation, the path back to Godhead. Being unfortunate and attached to the miserable material conditions, a materialistic person cannot associate with them. Bhogaishvarya Prashaktanam. That's what it is. You find that you can invite your friends to some sadhu gathering. They'll come, but you'll see they're always looking at their watch or looking at the phone, and they then will tell you have to go like that because they are not peaceful and they think they got something better to do like that. So here you see saintly persons are friends to all living entities. What does Kapila Muni gives the description of a saintly person? Titikshava
Kshavaka,
Karunaika
Suridam Sadhu,
Suridam Sarva Dehi Ajata Satra Shantaha Sadhava Sadhu
Bhushana.
Yeah. So Sadhava Sadhu Bhushana means he is
Beyond.
learned.
Sadhu.
Yeah, he knows. Sadhu Bhushana means learned. That means he knows his stuff very well. And then he can help others. How can you help others if you don't know anything? How can you train someone if you don't know anything? Right? What is the standard that you want to show them? Correct? Everyone has to see a particular standard before they are attracted. Otherwise they will not be attracted. Right? They say, oh, this devotee has this standard. Right? Among your temple devotees will say, oh, ask this devotee this. Oh, this one, oh, ask that one. Like that they will tell you. Because they all have a certain levels of realization or maturity or standards. So therefore, sadhus means we must have a certain standard, at least a minimum standard. Brahmana means he must know the scripture. He must know how to give prasadam. All these are charitable works. And then he should be able to
Kirtan.
Yeah, kirtan. Also sing for the Lord. Everything must be there. So otherwise, what we do, we just go up and down the material universe. Brahmande Brahmate Kona Bhagya Manji Guru Krishna Pasel Paya Bhakti Lata Beach. Just a little intelligence we need. To get the intelligence, if you want to purify your intelligence, what should you do?
Chant.
That's one way. The other way is
Hearing.
read Srila Prabhupada's book. That will sharpen and purify your intelligence. Shastras will do that. Purify your body and senses, you do
Bathing and chanting.
prasadam.
Prashadam.
Right? Purify your mind, you
Chant.
chant. Yeah. Then purify your enviousness,
Serve.
serve in the association of devotees. Like that. Text 40.
Yad api digiva jaino yajvino yevai rajarshaya kimtu paramride sairan asyam eva mameyam iti krita vairanu bandhayam visrijya swayam upasmritaha.
There were many great saintly kings who were very expert in performing sacrificial rituals and very competent in conquering other kingdoms. Yet, despite their power, they could not attain the loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is because those great kings could not even conquer the false consciousness of I am this body and this is my property. Thus they simply created enmity with rival kings, fought with them and died without having discharged life's real mission. Even Sukadeva Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj that the most important thing is that you should know you are not the body. Parikshit Maharaj knows that, but still the teachings of Jat Bharat is the same. There's no difference. What Krishna has told to Arjuna has not changed in millions and millions, and not even in the future. He's not going to change. So, why change the formula, right? When you want to preach to people, you have to bring them to this conclusion, then I'm not this body. Right? Somehow, right, you have to bring it there. That is your real ability to preach. You have to learn the tricks. If you listen to a lot of Prabhupada's classes, he does that. So you learn from Prabhupada how to do that also. Yeah? Otherwise, how you can tell them there's a goal of life? Right? They cannot accept that. A lot of people will say, no, I want to work hard, I want to get a nice place. They can't accept that. Can't accept that. In general, we know, as Prabhupada quotes this verse, right? Real purpose of life. Atha apumbi vijayashrestha varnashna vibhagasya swanisthitasya dharmasya samsiri haritoshanam. Haritoshanam must be there, pleasing the Lord. But if it's not there, they will never be satisfied. They can never be satisfied. Text 41.
कर्मावल्लिम अवलंब्या तत आपदा कथांचिन नरकाद् विमुक्ता पुनरपि एवं संसाराध्वनि वर्तमानो नरलोकसाधं उपयाति एवं उपरि गतोऽपि.
When the conditioned soul accepts the shelter of the creeper of fruitive activity, he may be elevated by his pious activities to higher planetary systems and thus gain liberation from hellish conditions. But unfortunately, he cannot remain there. After reaping the results of his pious activities, he has to return to the lower planetary systems. In this way, he perpetually goes up and comes down. Same thing that we discussed earlier. Text. At the end, Srila Prabhupada says, one must come to Krishna consciousness and therefore one must take shelter of a pure devotee. Thus one can become free from the clutches of matter. Again, either they come or you go and give.
Compassion.
Yeah. Right? You can't sit in the temple and wait like a python for the food to come, right? Right? You have to go out sometimes to meet people. We create their good fortune, just like Prabhupada created good fortune for us. So we create their good fortune by being an instrument, a via media, to get them to Prabhupada. Text 42.
Tashyedam pagayanti harshabhyaheha rajarshir manasapi mahatmaha nanuvatmarhati nrupo makshikeva garutmataha.
Having summarized the teachings of Jadabharata, Shukadeva Goswami said, my dear King Parikshit, the path indicated by Jadabharata is like the path followed by Garuda, the carrier of the Lord. And ordinary kings are just like flies. Flies cannot follow the path of Garuda, and to date none of the great kings and victorious leaders could follow this path of devotional service, not even mentally. It's not an easy process. Therefore, not everyone will take it up. Basically, yeah? You even though you have so many problems in temple, right? How many people really take it up seriously, right? You can see. Therefore, this is not a cheap thing. It's like the same thing. This is a jewel. This whole process that Mahaprabhu is given is such a valuable jewel, and to get that kind of person who's coming to buy that is going to be very rare. When you sell diamonds, how many customers will come? Right? But when you sell those cheap glass ones, how many more will come? Right? Walmart and what is that? Gerrard's, is it? Gerrard's, is it? Or what is the place in England? The big Tiffany's. Yeah, let's say Tiffany's. Yeah. So if you compare, who goes to Tiffany's and who comes to Walmart's, right? Yeah, it's like that. So similarly, we have to see these things. Yeah. But does it mean we don't preach? No, you do. You give it to everyone, but then someone will get qualified. Krishna will send those qualified. Actually, the results are all up to Krishna. You have to do it sincerely. Then he will say, okay, I'll send a few for now. And we'll see how you treat them. You treat them nicely, I'll send some more. And it's like that. If you treat people too badly, then Krishna says, no. I'll send them somewhere else. Or maybe send them Delhi, not here like that. Yeah. Next 43.
Yo dushtyad Yojuscha jan darasutam Sifrid rajam hridi sprisha Jahau yuvaiva malavad Uttama shloka lalasa.
So from now he is praising Maharaj Bharata. While in the prime of life, the great Maharaja Bharata gave up everything because he was so fond of serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Uttama Shloka. He gave up his beautiful wife, nice children, great friends, and an enormous empire. Although these things were very difficult to give up, Maharaj Bharata was so exalted that he gave them up just as one gives up stool after evacuating. Such was the greatness of His Majesty. Amazing person, huh? He could easily give up because he had no attraction for them. And then the question again is, how is that possible? So later on, remember that verse, Tyaktva Swadharmam Charanam Bhujam Hari. After that verse, Srila Prabhupada says in the end of that paragraph, he says, this Krishna consciousness movement is giving everyone a chance to engage in devotional service for at least some time. A little service will give an impetus to advance and thus make one's life successful. So take it up, become successful. Prabhupada is so magnanimous and merciful. If you go down to the last paragraph in the somewhere middle, every important individual within this world must have heard of Krishna, Prabhupada says, especially at the present moment, right? Because he is propagating so much due to the Krishna consciousness movement. Even people who do not like us and want to suppress the movement are also somehow or other chanting Hare Krishna. They say the Hare Krishna people should be chastised. Such foolish people do not realize the true value of this movement. But the mere fact that they want to criticize it gives them a chance to chant Hare Krishna, and this is its success. So Prabhupada's mercy there. He's giving them some blessings. Text 44.
Yojustajam kriti sutta svajanardadaram Pratyam shriyam shuravarai sadhayavalokam Naichan ripas taduchitam mahatamadudvi Shevanurakta manusam abhavo pi
Falgu. Sukadev Goswami continued, my dear king, the activities of Bharata Maharaj are wonderful. He gave up everything difficult for others to give up. He gave up his kingdom, his wife and his family. His opulence was so great that even the demigods envied him, yet he gave it up. It was quite befitting a great personality like him to be a great devotee. He could renounce everything because he was so attracted to the beauty, opulence, reputation, knowledge, strength and renunciation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna is so attractive that one can give up all desirable things for his sake. Indeed, even liberation is considered insignificant for those whose minds are attracted to the loving service of the Lord. Such a thing, powerful. It doesn't matter, huh? They are so attracted to Krishna. I mean, we are so attracted to material things, if you think about it, right? When you compare, and that attraction is not real, actually. That attraction is a false attraction, and so that is because of the nature of the material energy, and it has the Lord's potency invested in that. And because we want to enjoy separate from Him, we can get easily attracted to material energy. But it is a false attraction. But really we should be attracted to Krishna. So the question is, when we take up the process, are we attracted to Krishna? Or do we feel some attraction?
beginning.
Yeah, there is some attraction. Yeah. So that means there is some tangible attraction there. And then the idea is how much to invest in that, and to really, mine it properly. And then you'll realize the true nature of Krishna's attraction. At the moment, our attraction is contaminated by so much material influence, so the attraction is not real. It is sometimes nice, sometimes not nice, fleeting like. But once you focus more and more on Krishna, doing Krishna conscious activities, you will find the desire to do Krishna conscious activities so much fulfilling, as well as you want to do it all the time. Just like when you go back after Sunday feast, do you think of why did it end? I want to go back. If you think like that, then you have some taste. But when you are waiting for it to end, means you have lost the taste. Yeah. No, it's like that. Every time you leave the temple, you should feel
Morose.
Yes, morose. Or that you feel, I don't want to go, like that. That should be the proper way. The feeling should be that. Because you want to continuously serve. That service attitude must come in, or if it doesn't, then you will do something. That means do something about it. That means go and try to associate and do more service to increase your desire to serve. So Prabhupada writes at the end, a person who always desires to serve Krishna is interested in ways to convince people that there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. That is his ambition. It doesn't matter whether he is in heaven or in hell. This is called Uttama Shloka Lalasa. Okay. So main desire is just to give Krishna to whoever. Yeah. Give Krishna but not force Krishna. That's the difference, Serve Krishna and interested in ways. That means you find different ways to convince them there is a Supreme Lord. Yeah. Text 45.
Yajnaya dharma pataye vidhanai punaya.
Yajnaya dharma pataye vidhanai punaya.
Yogaya sankhya shirase prakrita swaraya.
Yogaya sankhya shirase prakrita swaraya.
Narayanaya haraye nama iti udaram.
Narayanaya haraye nama iti udaram.
Hasyam mrigatvam apiya samudajahara.
Hasyam mrigatvam apiya samudajahara.
Even though in the body of a deer, Maharaj Bharata did not forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, when he was giving up the body of a deer, he loudly uttered the following prayer. You should listen to this before you go. This is an important point. He loudly uttered the following prayer. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is sacrifice personified. He gives the results of ritualistic activity. He is the protector of religious systems, the personification of mystic yoga, the source of all knowledge, the controller of the entire creation, and the supersoul in every living entity. He is beautiful and attractive. I am quitting this body, offering obeisances unto him, and hoping that I may perpetually engage in his transcendental loving service. Uttering this, Maharaj Bharata left his body. This is after
In the body of deer.
deer. When the deer is dying, So you can see he did not.
He did not go back to God.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
He became like Jadaba.
He became like Jadaba because he
Was conscious.
remember what we were discussing, because he was
Yes, remembering.
yeah he was supposed to practice purely, but then he
Body does not.
wanted to fall down actually, so he took the risk, thinking that okay, it should be alright and people will leave me alone when I'm not because he's such a powerful king. Everybody started to disturb him, so he decided to do that, but then the Lord punished him for that. But actually that is to teach us.
Even I can get it. So this is in the body of deer.
No,
He is praying.
no, Maharaj Bharata. After the deer, right? He's dying.
Bro, this is in the body of
In the body of the
See
deer.
the body of the deer, giving up the body of
Even
the
though
deer,
in the
he
body of a
proudly
deer.
uttered the
Oh,
following
yeah,
prayer.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, sir.
The first
I misread that. I was reading Jad Bharat, was thinking. Yeah, even though on the body of the deer. So he was uttering like that. But still he didn't go back to God. Yeah.
Why didn't you go there, bro?
Because I was relating to you from the previous one. He was
attached to the deer, right?
He-
That's why he like
No, but
the
there's
Lord
past
wanted
life.
him to.
So this body he is deer, but he is so
Deer.
conscious. Right?
he was punished for that reason. He was brought back as Jad Bharat, to finish his attraction for the Lord,
Yeah.
an intense attraction. Yeah, because remember he was at the platform of
Prema.
Bhava, but he is almost prema.
Prema.
Then he got distracted. No, he purposely got himself distracted, so he got punished. So that's what I was trying to say. He got punished for that.
So, Prabhu, even we have a little small desire
Yeah.
that will just keep it, even though he is praying so nicely to the Lord at the time of death.
No, the whole idea for us is no. What I want to say is, Jad Bharat is not an ordinary person. He could go through this process, but at the same time, he's showing us what about us, right? We should be much more careful. He could do that, and he's on behalf of the Lord. He's showing us what happens to someone who takes a risk when you're practicing Krishna consciousness, and so you will miss the opportunity to go back to Godhead longer. In his case, it was just one interval where the Lord is like, okay, I'm punishing you for that. But in general, it's also like the Lord is using him to show us also. Yeah. So we shouldn't think he is an ordinary person like us, that he didn't do a good job. No, he is exalted.
So it seems that it's different for each case. Like in case of Jad Bharat, Krishna is giving another opportunity so that he again restores bhava, prema before he goes back to Godhead. In the case of Gajendra, he just offered lotus, right, in the body of elephant. It's not on the platform of bhava or prema, and he went back to Godhead.
Yeah,
right?
but
So
that's a different case, no? Here, this was one.
So
was
it's a
really-
higher standard. It's a different standard for different.
No,
souls.
there's a different reason, because the personality was in a different situation. In Gajendra is a different situation. Here, Bharat Maharaj willingly fell down.
He saw that.
And the Gajendra was
Cursed.
in distress.
Yes.
And then Lord personally came.
Yeah.
In this case, he is remembering
He's
and dying,
just
but his Lord did not come.
No. So we
It's a different standard.
exactly.
It
So
depends
you
on the
cannot
situation.
just say you cannot say it has to be the same, because again you have to understand the Lord is
Avijna Swarat.
Swarat.
independent and he can decide to intervene when he wants to intervene.
So one more
Also,
little
it doesn't
point.
mean that it's irrational, but if you understand
Well,
that effectively-
he's both contradictory and non-contradictory.
if we read carefully, then we can understand why Lord is doing like that.
Yes.
Such
Of
a-
course,
such a-
you can get other Puranic evidence to show this is the reason, but the Lord is Swarat.
So one could argue based on the Bhagavad Gita shloka Antakale Chamameva
Yeah.
Smaran Mukta Kalevaram. He is doing Smaran Mukta while he is leaving the body. So he should have, of course, in the normal sense. But again,
Yes.
the Swarat factor.
Again, like we read previously, he's punished for this, that he had to go through one life.
But if you look at the same verse, actually he achieves that, because in the body of Jad Bharat,
he is already
for the entire world he is like a stone, dull person. But actually he is the only Chaitanya. He is the only person who is conscious.
He is
because
actually
he is fully liberated.
He is fully liberated.
So he actually achieved liberation, though he is in the.
Just like Narada Muni, right? He also saw Krishna. Then Krishna said no.
Has to come back.
Yeah, had to come back one more time, he says. But anyway, he gets liberated also. In the next life is fully liberated. Same.
Jad
Jadbharat is fully
liberated.
liberated also.
Because right from birth he is acting like dumb. He is not transcendental.
If we understand, devotional service can be only performed by humans. The animals will get the
Yes.
opportunity to come to human being.
Yes.
But Gajendra, you didn't see that.
But
That's what I'm saying. It's a different situation.
Of course.
Not necessarily. Yeah.
That's a different thing. Like Chaitanya delivered the dog.
Yeah.
It's a different thing.
Yeah.
But in general,
The devotional service can only be performed by human beings. Yes. But I don't think that is the message here.
Yeah.
The message is
He's
if you
born liberated.
misuse your opportunity, then you have to go through a punishment. Even though, like you said, the guy remembered. No, the Lord gave him the opportunity to remember in the body of a deer,
so that he can come
that
back.
he can understand what to do properly.
That is the message.
Yes.
That's the key
Yeah.
message.
So that means human form of life, you just make sure you practice properly.
Don't fall
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Prabhupada purport also says Suchinam Srimate.
Yes.
That means something remaining, he has to come and fulfill it again.
That's right.
Perfect.
So that, and then Prabhupada also says, right, Ante Narayana Smriti. Although Maharaj Bhai had to accept the body of a deer, he could remember Narayana at the time of death. Consequently, he took birth as a perfect devotee in a Brahmana family, and then he quotes Suchinam Srimate Gehe. When one falls from the path, so he wants to make sure that, you better do it properly. Yeah. The whole idea is that you have to do it properly.
You are attracted to the deer. Let me give you opportunity to become a deer and come back.
Like I said, no, he did that under, I would say there's a Lord's plan to show us also to learn something serious from that. Yeah. But from his point of view, he was thinking by doing that people will leave me alone and then I'll think of the Lord and I'll pass away. But the Lord didn't give him that opportunity to think when he was dying. Instead, he made him think of the deer. Yeah.
So he didn't approve of Nirjan Bhajan.
Exactly, he didn't approve of that, and he didn't approve of Nirjan Bhajan also on your own, yeah.
Oh, he was ignoring people when they were coming.
Something like that, yeah.
But I don't think we have the what
Adhikar.
Jarad Bharat actually prayed when he was leaving the body.
That's something.
Oh, and
That
we'll
is
read
not-
that.
We'll see.
We'll see that, yeah. He will just,
It's not there?
he will just wait. Text 46.
याइदं भागवत सभाजितावादात गुणकर्मणो राजर्षेर् भरतास्यानुचरितं स्वस्ति आयनम् आयुष्यां धान्यं यशस्यां स्वर्ग्यापवर्ग्यं वानुशृणोति अख्यास्यति अभिनन्दति च सर्व एवाशिष आत्मना आशातेन कांचन परत इति.
Devotees interested in hearing and chanting Shravana Kirtan regularly discuss the pure characteristics of Bharat Maharaj and praise his activities. If one submissively hears and chants about the all-auspicious Maharaj Bharata, one's lifespan and material opulences suddenly increase. One can become very famous and easily attain promotion to the heavenly planets or attain liberation by merging into the existence of the Lord. Whatever one desires can be attained simply by hearing, chanting and glorifying the activities of Maharaj Bharata. In this way one can fulfill all his material and spiritual desires. One does not have to ask anyone else for these things, for simply by studying the life of Maharaj Bharata one can attain all desirable things. He is giving you some blessings as well. Now, there is in the next chapter explains that Jad Bharat, after preaching with the King Raghugana, he leaves and he goes. And then King Raghugana also gives up his kingdom and leaves. And then Jad Bharat also goes back to like that. Yeah.
Prabhu, in this verse, two things are promised. One is promotion to heavenly planets. Other is liberation.
Alright, the reason why it is like that is because it also wants to. There are devotees who are fruitive. Okay, so if they read and they say, "Oh, if
What's the
I,
result?
yeah, I'll get something," right? So they'll keep reading the whole pastime of Jadubharata, Mahabharata, and then by doing that,
One day it will click.
yes, they also get the pure devotional service. Yeah.
First time I'm hearing something
Yeah.
like this in
Oh,
Bhagavad.
no,
It is there previously also.
Previously also I
Then
said the
also
same.
in whoever hears the story,
Yes,
the
yes.
blessing is
And
there.
that is the reason. The reason is for fruitive devotees.
Okay.
Okay.
That is the capture everyone.
Yeah.
Even people, even if they have material desires,
Yes.
study Bhagavad.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's why I remember akama sarva kamo moksha kamo that's the reason it is. But remember, this is for Paramahansas. So they don't see all that. They just see only Krishna. But it is there for people like us. Oh, okay, I can become famous. Let me read more.
But in some way, the Karmakandiya section also, like if you do this,
it's both ways, Prabhu. It is to attract them to take it up seriously. The other reason is because the Karmakandis and people who don't accept Krishna fully, for them also it is given an opportunity to say, this is for material things. They are happy. Yeah, so they are happy. Oh, okay.
But it also brings devotion. That is the main thing.
The idea is to bring devotion.
This Bhagavatam is Purana, spotless.
Yeah.
It's only pure devotion.
Yes.